This is the secret to perfectly seared salmon. Welcome back to my Learn to Cook series, and this week we're learning how to cook salmon, how to perfectly sear it in the pan. It doesn't take very long, it's a great way to do it and a great skill if you master it. So why don't you come with me and I'll teach you how to perfectly sear salmon. Okay, here we are. This is our salmon. We nearly came off the plate. And here is our pan. The two things that we need to do perfectly seared salmon. Now, if I was doing this in a restaurant, I might score the skin so that the salmon doesn't curl up too much. But just cooking this at home, we're just going to do it in the pan and we're going to apply a bit of weight to the top when it first goes in so that it stays down and doesn't curl up. We're going to season the meat, we're going to season the fish, and then we've just got to cook it. So what we need to do is get this pan on to a medium heat. We want to make sure that it's hot before we put the fish in. We're going to add a little bit of veg oil, we're going to season this fish, and we're just going to get it done. A piece of salmon doesn't take long to cook. Of course, there are many other ways you could cook it. In the oven, wrapped up in foil, in the air fryer, my fave. But for this, it's just a classic in the pan jobby. Perfectly seared salmon shouldn't be scary, shouldn't be overwhelming, shouldn't be difficult to think about doing. You just got to make sure you have the right temperature. Too cold and the salmon will stick. Too hot and it will burn. It's as simple as that, really. So let's get on to cooking this bit of salmon. So we're going to heat up that pan to a medium to high heat. Put in a touch of oil, and a really great way to see if your pan is ready is like this, where I swirl it around the pan and the oil moves very loosely. It's not thick like when it comes out of the bottle, so you know that your pan is at a good heat. So we're going to go straight in, skin side down, and then apply pressure to the top to stop it curling up. We want to make sure that that skin has full contact with the pan at all times until it's fully relaxed. Then you can take the top off and just leave it to cook on that one side till around about the 4.5 minute mark. You can see here up the sides the colour is starting to change, and there's only this top section left where it's still. So what you want to do is around about that 5 minute mark is turn it over, let it rest, put it on a plate, and at 6.5 minutes you can eat it up. And once it's had a minute or two resting, let's cut on in to that perfect seared salmon. Still nice and pink in the middle with that beautiful crust, and it's just absolutely wonderful. It pulls apart, it's soft, it's still moist, and it's just absolutely delicious. I mean, just look at this salmon, perfectly crisp on the edges and still beautifully pink in the middle. Then flakes just fall apart. That skin is crisp. And that is just cooked to perfection. As you can see, it's not complicated to be able to recreate these wonderful things that people learn as a chef working in a restaurant, but at home. So why don't you get that pan on, get that salmon searing to perfection, and impress any guest that comes around for dinner. Oh, sensational. I'll see you guys next week. If you want to see any more from this Learn to Cook series, I've left the links in the description box down below, and let me know what you think. Do you think you can do it a better way? So that's this week, done. Cooking salmon in the pan. It's a winner. I hope you enjoy, and I'll see you guys next week. Ciao.